Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gander Gardening with Dawn. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm glad that you're here today. I garden in Gander, Newfoundland, Zone 5A. And I'm just going to share a little of my garden this morning. This is June the 8th, and it's going to rain quite heavily today. So before the rain takes out what's left of the tulips and even a few daffodils, I just want to share a little bit of my front garden. Starting at this corner, on the left, there's a lady's mantle, and then we have a lime foliage annual. This is geranium sanguineum. It's a red flowered one. And we have what's left of some tulips, but also here are 6 Globemaster alliums, which are, I don't know if that will focus, but they're just about to get ready to bloom. Here's a Francis Williams Hosta. Behind that are some Shasta daisies and some David phlox. Here's another of the lime annuals next to a Black Sea Euchera, another of the geranium, more of the Shasta daisies. These are the very simple, really big flowers known as Alaska. Starfire phlox, tons of forget-me-nots, another Euchera, some peony buds starting to get really fat. This is the Millennium Allium. We have some apricot tulips here that are still holding on. Here's a yellow daylily, another hosta, just a simple green and white one. And then this corner was started about 10 years ago. And about 5 years ago, I started to join it up so it goes all the way down to the arbor with the climbing hydrangea. So we still have a few tulips holding on. There's some Barlow mix columbine here getting ready to bloom. Here are a couple of different types of allium, Purple Sensation and Ambassador getting ready to bloom. And along the edge, I allow these forget-me-nots to work their way in. Another foxglove, some geum. This is the common orange one that's very common here in Newfoundland, and I love it. It doesn't bloom for as long as some of the new hybrids, but it's still quite lovely. Here are some double daffodils still holding on. More alliums of the same type as a little further up. And here is one of my peonies, a little bit behind this year, but you can see the raindrops now are starting to fall already. This one, it has a lot of buds, but I'm going to have to wait a little longer yet. More geum, more forget-me-nots, another David phlox. This is some of feverfew. This one is White Wonder. More Dalmatian peach foxgloves. Here we have more starfire phlox that I transplanted from the front. Here's a pulmonaria still blooming. This is a rose campion on the left. And I have some snapdragons here. These are light salmon chantilly. More forget-me-nots, more David phlox, more rose campion, more geum, more of these daffodils, which are definitely not looking their best now, but I'm sure after the heavy rain, I will cut them back. More foxgloves. This is King of Hearts, Bleeding Heart, Dicentra, which I adore, and it blooms all summer. It just keeps coming. It isn't perhaps as beautiful as the traditional bleeding heart, but it will actually bloom the entire summer. Behind that, there's another crimson bedder nicotiana, more of the same geum, more of the feverfew, and yeah, more of the King of Hearts dicentra. I try to repeat things as much as possible. And then the climbing hydrangea, getting even closer. And I don't think I can capture the top. It's too high up, but it is just absolutely smothered in blooms. In this corner, there's I think this one's called Aurora dicentra, which is a white bleeding heart that also blooms all summer. And a ton of geranium, hardy geranium here. There's a Jacob's Ladder about to bloom. This is another geranium, hardy geranium. This one's very tall, and when it gets going, it's called Splash. Oh, that's hard to say. And here we have another pulmonaria. This one's called Majest. And oh, just look at how silver and beautiful the leaves are on this one. More forget-me-nots. And in the front, I have a border of red coleus that I just recently planted from cuttings. And there's one feverfew in between there. And I think this is going to look really cute. Here's a very healthy patch of lupins. These are the common purple variety, and that looks actually really great here because it's among some of the common checkers lamium, which also blooms purple. So yeah, in this corner, I recently planted some brunnera that I got at a discount at a nursery, and they were overwintered from last year. So they looked a little rough first, but they've been planted here now for 2 or 3 weeks, and they are looking really great. There's one, there's two, and there's three, and I'm hoping these are supposed to get quite large. They're a fairly large variety, and I'm hoping that they will all grow together. Here are just a very few of the thousands of cherry blossoms that are on this North Star cherry in the back of our garden by the fence. And also underneath that, there's a garden of mostly woodlands. I have tiarella. This is just the common native variety. And there are some hardy geraniums here. That's Geranium maculatum. They're the wild geranium. And here's another of the Barlow mix columbine. Here's another brunnera. This one's Jack Frost, and this one's been here for a number of years. I think about 10 years, but it's a fairly small one. It hasn't gotten really big, but it is gorgeous. That's below a peony, which like most of my peonies are a little bit behind this year, I think because our May for the first part was so cold. Here in this corner, beneath this dogberry tree, which I have limbed up to show the fabulous structure of the multi-stemmed trunks here. There's another sea of forget-me-nots. There are also some geums amongst here, and also some peach-leaved bellflower that will be in bloom later. Also in my shady corners, there are some of the ostrich ferns. These are native ferns, and they're just unfurled now. These will get gigantic. This last area is my container cutting garden, and it has just been planted up. There are dahlias. Here are some of the annual bee balm. That's lemon bee balm, Monarda. Bunny-tail grass. Here's a lady's mantle being contained in a container. More Alaska apricot nasturtium. Here are some of the azuratum. These are the tall ones that get about 18 inches. Another dahlia. Right here we have some cosmos. These are apricata, which will get. These are zinnias. This one is giant coral. Another dahlia. Right here we have some gomphrena. This is carmine. Another dahlia with an Alaska apricot nasturtium. Another dahlia. Here we have more of the cosmos. These are Apollo White. And another dahlia, which was a gift from a friend. The cages are there because the dahlias will definitely need that extra support.